Hello my good students, I hope you all are doing well. Today I want to go over the collection framework. We have already spoken or we have already discussed about collection frameworks before when we have seen array list, linked list. We talked about how arrays are a little different than linked list. How does it work at the background or at the back end? Which one is faster? How would you go about choosing one over the other? So it's important that you understand that and know how to write linked list and array list. Most of the time you would be creating those linked list and array list depending upon the situation that you're writing the program for. Today we want to cover a little more of those collection frameworks, and we'll talk about sets and some of the implementations of the set interface. Now previously we had also talked about classes and interfaces. Now remember, with classes I can create an object, but with an interface I'll have to I cannot create well, let me go back. So with the classes you can create your objects. However, when you're talking about other collection frameworks like HashSet or TreeSet, they are basically implementing the set interface of the collection framework. So in other words, set is a parent interface of all the set classes like the TreeSet, the HashSet, and when we look into the HashSet, you will see that HashSet is very similar to an array list, but it only stores unique elements and it does not allow you to maintain any specific order of elements. So while we are describing all this, let's go ahead and start writing the code just to show you how that works. So I created a project called I created a project called set_HashSet, and then I am creating the collection framework class. And while I was creating it, I also checked on the creation of the constructor, and that's why I have a constructor. I left it blank, and I also have the public static void main method included in there. So over here what we're trying to do is declare the set and see how we can work with that. So just like your array list, I'm going to define that set. Then I have to describe as to what is the value that I can use, and in this case I'm using a string values, and let's call it student names equals new set. And if I want to do this, remember it does not let me do this because it is an interface. So I have to use the implemented interface, which is HashSet right here. Now as soon as I do that, it will ask me to include or import my Java util set, and I've already done that. So that takes care of the import statement. I'm still seeing some error, and this is the end of this. This is the end of this. Oh, we are missing a. So as soon as you click on these curly brackets, it will show you where it closes. So one of them was missing, and then with this one, it is complaining should be okay. All right, so it needed for me to include both hash set and the set, and that's what it was complaining. So right now I'm just creating a hash set, and if we want to see if I want to add any values to it, I can always say something like student names dot add, and remember this is going to be a string that I can add, and I can add a few more names to this. And I'm going to change the names. So this is how I'm adding some values to my hash set. And at this point, if I want to come in and do print them out, I'm just going to do student names So if I run my program now, it should tell me these are my values. Now, as I said earlier, notice that it is not printing values out in any particular order. So I do see all the values printed, but it is not in any particular order. I can also do or run methods like this on my student names, my set. So, or my hash set, and I can look for something like student names dot size, or I can do other methods like is empty. So there are several different methods that you can use with your hash set, and in this case, as you can see, it printed my values in no particular order. It gave me the size, and it's checking to see if it is empty, and it is not. That is why it is false. However, if I would run the same thing right here, then I should get a true value at the beginning. See over here, because at this point I do not have any values in there yet. So in this case, I created a hash set with strings, and again, the reason you would use hash set is because if you do not care about maintaining in any particular order, that is what you're going to be using. Now, you can also create other data types. You can create a hash set for an integer. Another thing to show you is this also does not allow you to create any duplicates. Okay, so one of the reasons you would use a hash set is because if you want unique values to be stored in a collection framework, then that is what you're going to be using. So if I try to do this now, you will see that the name Johnny is not included here. So as you can see, even when you're counting, okay, this is your student names, this is your size, this is not counted. However, if I change this one to a different value, then automatically this becomes 7. So it would not allow you to store duplicate values. It can only store unique values. Now, you can also check with methods like, you can run methods like this. Contains, and then you can look for a particular value, and in this case if I look for Johnny, then I should get true. I should get a Boolean value back saying yes, I do have Johnny being there. Of course, if I look for somebody who's not there in that hash set, then it's going to come or return it as a false value. So this is one of the implementation. But what if you want to store the values, a collection of values, but you want to maintain an order? Well, in that case, you can use something called the TreeSet. Okay, so let me do the same thing, and the implementation is very, very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, and I'm going to do string, and I'm going to call it myset equals new tree set, and then this, and it's going to complain saying I don't have the tree set included in here. I may need to bring the and so I've imported my tree set. Oh, I see what is it missing. So if I'm going to create a set called myset, but it's an implementation which is the interface is the tree set. So now I can come in and do something like this. myset.add all, and then I can do student names. So I can even write codes like this. The methods that are used in this kind of interfaces are very, very similar. So now if I add them, and now if I want to print them out, now what happens is when I'm calling for student names, they are kind of coming in any order. Remember, it does not maintain any order. System.out.println. And so it does not come in any particular order. So the first time I did, when the first time I created my student names, this is the order that it did. However, when I did it, when I brought my student names into my set, it actually followed an order. If you look into this, you will see that since this is a string, they actually did the ascending order. So anything that starts with a C is in the front, and at the very end you have your Santosh. So as you can see, the tree set would sort that out. So that's really the difference between using a tree set versus a hash set. So depending again upon the program that you're using, you can do that, and you can run other methods like myset.clear, and that's going to so now if I want to come in and run it, you will see that it gave me the my set. This is coming from 51. Then I did the clear all, and I did this. Now you can also you can also remove them individually. So just like I have added things over here, if I wanted to add something like my set dot add, and I can at this point add something called a new student name into this. So now, as you can see, the value has been added, and again this is sorted out, so you have a sorted list here. So Kaleo is added over here. So I can add, I can remove, I can look for the size, I can look to see if it is empty. So there are several other methods there as well. So those are the implementation of the different interfaces of set, things like HashSet or TreeSet. So you just have to know when to use these individual interfaces. I hope you have a good understanding of the collection framework, and you would be able to work with these kind of programs. One thing to remember, in your hash set, you can only store unique values. You cannot store duplicates. So if you want to sum it all up, things like a set is the generic set of values with no duplicate elements, and a tree set is a set where the elements are sorted. A hash set is a set where the elements are not sorted or ordered. Okay, it is also much faster than a tree set. The hash set is an implementation of a set. We already talked about that. So the set is the parent interface of all the set classes like the tree set or the hash set. So when you create an hash set in Java, it implements the set interface of the collection framework. It is used to store unique elements and does not maintain any specific order of elements. It can store null values, and basically it uses a hash table internally. You can also implement other things like serializable or clonable interfaces. Okay, so remember, hash set is the one that implements the set interface, and it is used to store the unique elements and does not maintain any specific order of elements, whereas the tree set have a sorted list. Hopefully this would give you enough information about when and how to use the different interfaces of sets: hash set, tree set, array list, lists, etc.